Welcome to As Above.
So below,
I am Kisha Lee, the Psychic Yogi.
and I'm Cidnee Rich. And on today's episode, this is Astro Reiki and welcoming us to Libra season. So we have our honorary Libra sun with Miss Kisha Lee. And we're going to get into this energy, okay? It's really exciting. It's cardinal energy, right? It's also the autumn equinox. So the 23rd of September, it's going to be a balanced day of sunlight and moonlight. Okay, that's what that equinox energy is bringing in. And then as we move further into the remainder of the year, of course, our nights will get longer and our days will get shorter. But right now, we're talking about that balance that Libra brings in, and it is signified as the scale. I think Libra is I think it's one of the most understood and misunderstood signs of the zodiac because it has a very literal meaning, right? It's scales. And we know Libras, we think about their balance, they got these scales, but there's so much nuance when it comes to that because think about what it takes to balance something. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of assessing, which goes into that air quality of Libra energy, really having to think about what you need to take off that one scale and add to the other when it comes to your heart, your mind. And finding that synergy within yourself and within your relationships with other people. As we know that Libra it rules the seventh house in astrology, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's about moving forward, right? We just finished that mutable, earthy Virgo season. And now this cardinal sign is like, let's go, let's get going. We have 1/4 of the year left to go. Okay, it's last quarter. And just like in sports, that last quarter can change everything. You could be down, you could be losing the entire game, and you can come back in the fourth quarter hard. So that's kind of what that Libra energy is saying. Like, don't lose steam now. You can still come back and be a winner chicken dinner, okay, in this last half of the year. And I love that because it's also this Libra energy, I feel like has a lot of grace to it. It's because it's ruled by Venus. So it's got this beauty and this airiness, and it's like, forgive me. Libras, they are, to me, if you have beef with a Libra, you might want to check yourself because I don't understand. They give so much space, so much grace because they're able to have that balance within connections. They're able to see both perspectives and give people space to say their part and express themselves and also kind of come in and say be a diplomat, right? It's a diplomatic sign. It's like, okay, you made some points and this person made some points, or this has points and this has points. So it really is a sign that wants things to work and wants things to move forward. When you have diplomacy, it's for something to work, right? If something is off or out of balance, you need to get it harmonized. So, what do we need to do? And that's that energy of Libra season. It's like, what do we need to do in our personal lives to get ourselves back into a place where we can move forward? What do we need to do in our relationships to get ourselves back into a place so we can move forward? But it is all about forward movement, being a cardinal sign. It is a leader. This is the way. So right now in your personal life, you may be coming up against some things that feel out of balance. And that's with the air sign, that mental energy. It's time to take a little bit of an assessment. Like maybe even literally making a good, bad, or past, future kind of list and coming in and okay, I want more of this and less of this. And in order for me to have more of this, I need to take more time for myself, speak my truth more, be less people pleasing, right? Libra energy with that diplomacy, sometimes it can forget itself. Sometimes it could be too focused on the other. And so it's saying hey, actually, in order for me to feel good, it may be uncomfortable for you, but this is what I need. This is how I'm going to move forward. This is what needs to change. So it's really cool to like think about Libra in this. It's like very like nuanced sign. It's got so much to it, even though it's an air sign, but that makes so much sense if we think about its ruling planet of Venus. Venus rules Libra, but also rules the earth sign of Taurus. So it having this duplicity makes a lot of sense. With its just like Virgo, we just got out of Virgo. That's why like Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, they're like triplets energetically. It's just how the energy is being diffused. It makes it different, but they're very similar. And with Libra, it's saying like, okay, Venus, we want things to be pretty, whether it's our words, our looks, the visuals, the energy. We want it to feel good. We want it to feel pleasurable. We want it to feel nice. We want it to look nice. We want it to sound nice. We want it to be nice and lovely and welcoming. And, you know, like when you walk into a place, you want to feel good. And that's Libra energy. It makes you feel good a lot of times socially, like with the words, right? If a Libra is around you, they're going to make you feel welcome. They're going to speak to you. They're going to say, hey, they're going to introduce you if you're someone that doesn't know everybody that's there. And so that's kind of like this energy. But at the same time, with it having that like very masculine energy of Libra, right? Because it is a masculine sign, that external, it's also very internal with that Venus energy, with the feminine aspect of it. Going back to the scales, that balance. So it has a really cool way of straddling feminine and masculine energy in a way to bring harmony into your self, into your relationships, and into love and money, which is what Venus also rules, right? So it's like, let's just be for real, right? If we want to move forward, like cardinal energy talks about, we got to get real about what's working, what isn't, what we love, and what we don't. And that also goes into like the Justice card, which is in tarot, which is ruled by Libra. It's all about being authentic. That sword is the sword of truth. You're going to say what you need to say, and you're going to be fair, and you're going to be equitable, and you're going to speak up. You're going to say what needs to be said. And I think it's really interesting that the Justice card rules Libra, and it also rules the 7th house in astrology, because the Justice card a lot of times talks about a contract. So marriage or divorce. Okay, when the Justice card comes up, especially reversed and like in a reading from my experience and a lot of other readers' experience, it's talking about a relationship that is not working. And typically, if a relationship isn't working, something's out of balance. Somebody's not getting what they need. And a lot of times that is because someone's not being honest. Someone's either keeping their mouth shut or saying one thing and feeling another. So there's this lack of integrity within a connection or within a relationship, and that's causing things to be out of balance. So justice is not just about saying what's like being fair. It's about being honest. That's the core energy of the Justice card. And if you go to court, you know, we say justice for all. When we say justice for all, we're saying that things are fair. Like the truth came out, and once the truth was revealed, justice was served. That's the goal. And that's a lot of times when we say that was not just, because like the truth of the matter didn't come out, wasn't revealed. And that is frustrating, and that causes an imbalance, and that causes societal upheaval and chaos, which is what we're seeing all the time. So the truth is the truth is the truth. Regardless if that person says what they said or that person says what they said or thinks, there is only one truth. Okay. And that is often the truth of God, spirit, source, our soul, our heart. Like that is the truth. And our human ego, a lot of times, plays too much role in the truth. And that's where we get such an imbalanced society like we're living in right now. Which is unfortunate, but the more we individually can work on our relationships, the more we can individually speak our truth, the more that we can individually understand what is really necessary and what is really needed, the more balance that we can create in our own lives and thus in society. So yeah, that's my vibe here. I'm going to pull some tarot for this upcoming season. I'm going to use my zombie tarot for anybody watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. If you're here on YouTube, if you're here on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we appreciate you listening. If you're a Patreon member, thank you so much for being here as well. Once again, Patreon members get to experience our meditations. So we encourage you guys to join us over here. Because Astro Reiki, Kisha be getting it in, okay? So I highly recommend joining our meditations. So let's see here. What is the collective message for Libra season? The scales of justice, personally, societally. What are the vibes? What's going on here? I'm interested, guys. I'm like, ooh. Okay. What's crazy is the bottom of the deck energy is the two of hazards in the zombie tarot. This is pentacles, and twos are all about balance. So the bottom of the deck energy is us bringing something into balance, prioritizing our needs, prioritizing our desires, prioritizing ourselves. Cool. So we have this is so cool. It's very, we have the Empress. I'm going to start with the Empress. The Empress is here. The Empress is all four queens in the tarot. Okay. Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, the Empress. Okay. It's divine feminine energy. And here it's saying, like that Venusian energy of Libra, stepping into your power, stepping into your truth, stepping into your authenticity and being that leader. A lot of times Empress energy is what leads the way in all things. You know, we look to the divine feminine energy to show us what we need to know, to show us the truth. And that's why we've been in such an imbalance for so many years, because that energy has been silenced. It's been ignored. It's been questioned. So this season is about us knowing our Empress energy, using it, believing in it, trusting it, and knowing the magic in that. When we are in our divine feminine, we can make things happen. We can manifest. And that's also what the number 3 represents as the Empress card. Then we have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, this is interesting energy as well. This is that Venusian energy coming through. Okay, he's literally coming in. Knight energy is incoming energy. And what I see with this, it's about opportunity. It's about love. It's about financial opportunity. It's about trusting. Sometimes the Knight of Cups is too good to be true. Sometimes the Knight of Cups is the romantic that just says all the right things. But it's also very Venusian in the sense of like, it's pretty. Their words are pretty. They look pretty. They set things up pretty. Allow yourself to believe that you are worthy of that type of love, type of opportunity that looks too good to be true. Trust that it is possible. Give yourself that space to say, you know what? Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I can have this. This is bringing balance into my life. This is making my life easier. And then we have the Sun card. So that's awesome. Couple reasons. The Sun is the most positive, optimistic card you can pull. On the Zombie Tarot, it has a helicopter. And when I get this energy, it's like kind of like a savior energy. It's like, oh my God, you thought you were going to have to be stuck on this building with all these zombies down here, but this helicopter is here for you to be rescued. So it's like there is more to come. There's more growth. There's more expansion. There's more to the rest of this year, like we talked about. And it's also really cool because it's the Sun card. And this is what Astro Reiki is all about. We're going into a new Sun sign. So Libra is leading the way into this place of us embodying the Empress, being ready for opportunity, and that's bringing balance into our everyday existence in love and in money, not just within our relationships, but within ourselves.
Pretty dope pool, tarot pool. I like that because I think the Empress card, yeah, like you said, is about, from what I understand of tarot, it is like Libra. The Justice card is for Libra, but also the Empress is Libra or Libra, Taurus energy, Venusian energy. So that is wonderful. I like that. So at the Virgo new moon, that evening I was meditating before going to sleep, and I got this download of, a lot of times when I do my interpretations or my intuitive insight, when we do the new moon, the full moon, and Astro Reiki, I typically go into kind of more of like teacher mode, explaining what I think and what I feel. And I got this download that was like, boom, the psychic, like, do the psychic stuff. So I'm going to do psychic stuff today. You know, if I'm supposed to switch it up, I'll switch it up. But Spirit's been like, do the psychic stuff. So here we go. I'm going to do a collective reading. Right? I'm going to do a collective reading. So give me a moment. Get my throat chakra going here. But let's see. Okay, now that we have received the cosmic chat from Miss Cidnee, and we allow ourselves to let all that information land where it may, what is the message and guidance for the collective during Libra season? Whew, okay, I just got hit with a lot of energy. I was like, whoa, slow down. And I'm probably going to start talking fast because that was the energy that I got. When I was tapping into this earlier, it was like I could feel like my third eye being activated and my jaws were like moving. So like moving fast, a lot of talking. But just a second ago, I got hit also in the solar plexus. And the word that I get is autonomy. Like autonomy, individuality. So it's kind of like putting yourself first, being in that Empress energy, but also using that sort of justice to cut away the bullshit, cut through the lies, take off the rose-colored glasses, basically, which is very Libra-like, but taking off the rose-colored glasses, looking at things in truth and analyzing, because Libra is a very analytical sign. It is very intelligent and wise. It's expansive. That air energy is expansive. It's creative. It's fast moving. Okay, that makes sense why I was like, I feel like I want to talk fast. But it's also about communication as well. And so this is going to be, it looks like for the collective, a season of speaking your truth and using that sort of justice. I know Libra gets a vibe for being like airheaded or like, aloof and all this sort of stuff. And Libras are a lot smarter than they come off sometimes. That's that balance. We can be very intelligent, very smart, very matter of fact, but then also we can pretend like, oh, just like gonna float around and pretend that I don't see this happening. But this feels like a season where it's time to get real, but in a loving way, in a way that has that grace, I guess, that diplomacy, that charm, and just kind of saying, like, what, this is what I need to feel more balanced. This is what needs to be harmonized in my life, where there is discord and disharmony. How can I find peace in those spaces? And how can I bring in this energy of acceptance? Acceptance is like this energy, it's kind of a bridge that allows you to be present and in the now. Because when you accept something, you have to deal with it in that moment, right? Like, I accept the fact, like this week, I've been sad. And so I've been doing a lot of crying and emotional releasing and so forth. And I've just been accepting this person said that, and I can accept that that's what they said. I can accept that that hurt my feelings. I can accept that it's still resonant with me to some degree because it's triggering me. It's causing an emotional reaction. So I can accept the fact that I'm still holding on to this. I can also accept the fact that I need to let that shit go. And I can also accept that that's that person's opinion, but I can accept my own opinion in the matter. And so to me, this is a season also about discernment, and really, I think with the nodal shift, like putting yourself first, but in a way that is from a place of like equanimity, and a place that is balanced, a place that is harmonizing, and like everyone allowing their needs to be met, but also allowing justice to be served where it's needed. So if it feels like you've been like the underdog for a minute, then this is an opportunity to reclaim balance in your life and restore that balance so that now you can come out on top. So if you notice things are shifting, whatever needs to fall away, like the trees are showing us what needs to be let go of, allowing yourself to let that happen, because in that process of death, there's also rebirth. And it's an opportunity to create space for receiving something better or to restore balance and harmony. And so this to me feels like collectively it's a season where things might be kind of not a struggle, but like having to be real with yourself, be honest with yourself, maybe speaking that truth and being open and honest and communicating with others, and just saying, this is what I need, this is what I want. It feels like also like operating from a place of integrity and just like realness and truthfulness, like no more bullshitting and playing games and what do you call it, candy coating things. It's a way you can speak and be direct, but also have a sense of, I want to say, like charm or charisma, like that grace, and like lightening the load or the heaviness of those words. Like having it is like Cidnee was talking about, the words being pretty. So it's like being more eloquent in the way that you speak, in the way that you communicate your desires, maybe even bringing a sense of playfulness, upbeat energy, that sun card energy in the tarot pool, bringing that upbeat, optimistic vibe to certain things, just bringing some lightness to anything that might be heavy. So restoring that balance as well. If you feel like things have been kind of heavy, how can you shift your perspective of that and allow that to be amplified in this warmth, the light of the sun? And I feel like also this collective is going to, there's going to be some shifts happening in the relationship department. Maybe finding like things have duplicity. So you might find like there's a relationship, but it can have like dual purposes. So it might be a, like, say, romantic relationship, but it also might have a more practical side too, like a maybe like a business type thing. Like sometimes you say you shouldn't mix business and pleasure, but balance, you might be able to find a way to mix and have a little bit of that. But you have to be real with yourself and being able to identify, what does that really look like, how does that feel to me. Sometimes I think when it comes down to some of these signs, like air signs, we get caught up in the mind a lot. But also, if it's kind of like what Cidnee was talking about earlier, with the planet Venus, you have Libra, which is air, but you also have that earthy, practical side of Taurus that it rules. And so it's a good opportunity to look at, when it comes down to love, what is no longer serving you, what needs to be cut away, what ties need to be cut, cords need to be cut, what karmic lessons have you experienced, how can you extract the lesson and, let go of the rest. And then for me, I have a saying of no love lost, only lessons learned. And so that might be very diplomatic in a way, but that's the way I like to look at certain relationships so that I can have peace in those areas. But for the collective, it just looks like when it comes down to focusing on our relationships, our partnerships, I feel like this sense of value. What do you value? I also feel like operating with integrity, being more truthful, being more expressive of who you are as an individual, not necessarily like, like a carbon copy of anything else, but maybe finding inspiration in others, but then utilizing that, making it your own, and being able to um, prioritize self, but make it in a way that not is it's not taking away from other people. Like you prioritizing yourself actually gives permission to others to be themselves. It's like you're returning their energy back to sender. Okay, and you're allowing yourself to receive and extract your energy, calling your energy back in. So to me, this is a season where as a collective you may find that there's going to be some shifts in your relationships, and it might be your shift in perspective of those relationships so that you can find more peace, more balance, more harmony within yourself and truly operate from that place of love. And we know that the love is typically ruled by the heart chakra, right? And you have the lower chakras, which is like the egoic or the human self. You have the higher chakras, which is our higher consciousness or higher self, and love is that space, that bridge in between. And so it's kind of like that as above and so below aspect of ourselves. But how can we be, like I said, take off the rose colored glasses, but be very real with ourselves and what we've contributed into those relationships, being honest, taking honest assessment of our part and what we might have created in that space, and taking ownership and accountability. But then with that acceptance, being able to way to cut away, like, like a lean cut of meat, you cut away the fat type thing. And so cutting away everything that does not bring peace and joy and harmony and light um, in our lives, so that we can really stand in more of that empress energy, or emperor, I guess, energy, if you associate with the masculine. But being able to stand more grounded and truthfully and authentically in that empress energy, in that space of, yes, I am this, you are that, you do you, I do me, and we can do us when we're together type of vibe. But always staying very clear and focused on what it is that you need, what it is that you desire, and then how can holding that energy, that vibration, seeing how that radiates out and affects the relationships that you have, so that you can live more abundantly, more in pleasure, more in purpose, and prosper from that space. So that is your collective reading. So Psychic Yogi signing out.
Beautiful. And thank you guys so much for joining us. Like we mentioned before, if you want to join our Patreon, you can participate in this amazing Reiki that we're about to receive from Miss Kisha. If not, please tune in next time when we chat about the full moon in Aries that is coming up. And thanks. We'll see you guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Bye.